Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Tabitha Yount, owner of Elegant Homes and Interiors, and I'm super excited to be here. It's been a hot minute since I've been on, so come on here and tell me hello if you're on here live, and if you're not, tell me that you're on replay. So I have some exciting things to visit with you about today. We're going to talk about renovations. Sometimes I get tons of questions all the time about different things, whether it's decorating, remodeling, whatever those that might be. You know, we just get all kinds of questions about different random things when people, when I post different things and things like that. So the number one question I keep seeing over and over is about renovations right now. And I think it's because of the summertime and things like that. So we're going to talk about renovations today. But before we get started, come on here and tell me hello. I see some of you guys hopping on here. But what I wanted to tell you is I have an update for Gracie. I know some of you guys know this, so I keep getting lots of questions and text messages, so this is kind of off. I wanted to let you know that she's doing much better. If you didn't know, my daughter was very ill last week. She was in the hospital, and she was in the hospital on Tuesday, had surgery, and was in the hospital for 4 days. But she is doing much, much better. And yes, thank you so much for all the prayers, all the text messages, and all the things. I thank you guys so much because you guys are wonderful. And yes, she's doing much, much better. So I just wanted to give you that update, that little life update for all of us. We had doctor's appointments all day today, and I got home and I thought I'm going to have to hop on here and talk about renovations with you guys, because that is the thing that I keep getting questions about. But I definitely wanted to let you know, thank you so much guys for all the prayers and all the things from Gracie. She says thank you so much. So if you're on here live, come on here and tell me hello. One thing I do want to ask you, if you're on here live with me, one question I have for you. I have a question to ask you. What time of year do you guys think it is best to renovate your house? What do you think? What time of year is the best time of the year to renovate your house? If you're thinking about renovating your house, or you're thinking about renovating your kitchen or your bathroom, hello, Georgetta, hello. If you're thinking about renovating your house, what time of the year would be the best time? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think, Julie? Hello, Julie. Do you think it would be spring, summer, winter, fall? When do you think it would be the best time? And we're going to get into that today. That's one of the questions that I get asked all the time. Tabitha, when do you think is the best time to renovate? Do you think we should renovate? And can you give me some pointers on renovating your house? As you know, we do that. So I'm going to give you 5 great points. Summer. She said summer. Yes. I'm going to say you are correct, my friend. Summer is the best time of the year to renovate your house. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to go into lots of different details, and I'm going to give you lots of tips of when you're wanting to renovate your house. And let me know down below if you're really wanting to renovate your house, because that's really important, I guess, with this. But if you're thinking about renovating your house, this will be the live for you. So make sure that you share this with everybody, friends and family, because this will be very helpful for you. Since we've been getting lots of questions about renovating, we renovate kitchens, we renovate bathrooms, we do whole house renovations, as you know. This is kind of our thing. We get lots and lots of questions about this. And so I have a couple of tips. I could go on and on and on about this, guys, honestly, for days. But one of the things, like these 5 tips are my best tips for you. If I could talk, sometimes words are really hard. I feel like I've been talking all day. But these are the 5 tips that I can honestly tell you are the best tips if you're going to renovate your house. And I honestly think summer is a really good time, but really we don't particularly have a bad time of the year. Now, one of the things that I will say, if you want to do it before the holidays, summer is the best time, because a lot of women really want to get their houses all updated and fresh and clean and ready for the holidays, which who doesn't want that, right? But if the holidays is not a bad time or nothing that, then do it in the winter. The winter is a great time to do that. And because honestly, they say, statistics say that you can actually get a contractor better in the winter because they kind of come off. But honestly, we stay consistently busy most of the time all year long. However, winter, it's easier for you because everybody's gone. everybody's in school, things like that. So your households might be a little less hectic during the day for contractors to be in and out of your house. So that might be the best. But honestly, there's not a bad time for us to come into your house. But I would say that summer is a good time to start planning. And that is what I want to say the very first. One of the things that I want to say is to plan. Plan. And I can't say that enough. Just because I think people don't. Once they start, they think, okay, I want to renovate my house. I want to renovate my kitchen. I want to renovate my bathroom. They don't think that there's a planning period. Make sure that you always remember there's a planning period, okay? So that's what I really want to give you a tip on, because you can't plan enough in this time, okay? So the number one tip we're going to start with today of remodeling tips is setting an unrealistic budget would be bad. Okay, a lot of people will say, Tabitha, what about this? And they kind of have something in their mind, and they say, Tabitha, they don't come up and they'll say, Jason and Tabitha, we want you to come to our house. We want you to look at our kitchen. And they'll say, the next step is we come always to the property and look at it. And then we kind of come up with a time, what they're wanting, whether it be just a kitchen, a whole house remodel, if it's a bathroom remodel, whatever that may be. We always look at the house, the property. That's how we started off. If it's just decorating, it's the same thing, the same process. We always look at the property first. With a visit. If it's, husband and wife, whoever lives in the house that's important. Hello, Naomi. Hello, Linda. Hello, everyone. I see you. Hello. Come on here and say hello. If it's always, we start off with the property, a visit at the property. And then from there, we start with what you want to renovate. And if it's a kitchen, then we start with that. But it's so important to always know what your budget is in your mind, and to stick with a realistic budget, because it can be like, you kind of get out of control. It kind of gets out of control, and people don't really have that. So what I always say is to make sure before you start actually remodeling your house and doing that, you have the numbers together. You, the contractors, the people that are doing this, you have it in front of you, okay? Always do that. That's a really important thing. Now, people will ask me, Tabitha, do you ever budget for more? I always tell you from the beginning, everybody will hear this, even once we give you a budget, a great budget, we'll have it all itemized out, and you will know exactly what you are getting from start to finish. Now, remodels, just as you're building, just as you're doing anything, I always say allow for extra, and we will say 15 to 20%. Why is that? First off, with remodels, you never know what you're going to get into. You tear down a wall, you never know if there's going to be mold, if there's going to be something wrong with it, if it can't be coming down, we have to do a header. Those are things that really people don't think about when they're doing it. They're like, oh, no, that's no big deal. Just take down that wall. Hello, Pat. And they think, oh, just take down that wall. That's going to be easy. Okay, that's $2,000 or whatever it may be. Well, it may be something that you have to put more support in it, or you never know, or it's back behind it and it is full of plumbing, and that plumbing has been sitting there for 10 years leaking. So now you have a leaking problem. And then, not to mention, it hasn't been leaking, it has electrical problems. Okay, so that's when Jason calls me up and he says, guess what? You got to be the bearer of bad news. You got to tell him. And then I get to go back and tell them. But guess what? Those are always good things to have in the beginning, and know that you have a 15 to 20% allowance there, so everybody's happy, okay? So I always say have a realistic budget in mind from the beginning, so that you know, and we know, and everybody knows that that's there. That's the first and foremost thing that we always start our projects with, okay? Second thing, okay? The second thing, if you're thinking about remodeling your home, this is the second thing, is not to take the integrity of the property differently. Now, this is if you're going to do an addition, okay? And we do a lot of additions. Every single woman that we come into your home, especially if you're thinking about staying into the home or you're wanting to just add on. A lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, I know there's some gentlemen listening, like opening a can of worms. It is, Pat. It totally is like opening a can of worms when it snowballs on you, for sure. So a lot of you women call me and they say, we want to add on a living room. We want to add on a kitchen. We want to add on a dining room. Okay, the very first thing, once we go back to that, the very first thing we do is we visit the property, okay? We go in there, and Jason and I, or just me at the beginning, maybe, just depending on what it is, but we always visit the property. We visit it and we look at it. And I always look at the layout of the house, and you have to keep the integrity of the original architect, okay? That architect has done something, whether it be 15 years ago or it was 50 years ago. They had something in mind, you know, the layout of how it flows. You always, always, always have got to keep this. A lot of the ladies that we have added on to their houses, they will tell you that I'm really, really big about adding on additions to houses and making it look like it was always meant there, has always been there. It wasn't added on. It looks like that when you walk into the house, it has just automatically just flows with the house. That is so, so important, is to keep that integrity going and keep that flow of the house. That is so, so important, because have you ever been in somebody's house and you're walking in and you're like, oh, they did an addition? That's terrible. That's terrible. You don't ever want to do that. You want to walk in and you're like, wow, I just want to see the whole thing. That's the thing, is when we get done with the houses, that's the wow factor, as I always say. That's what you want to have when you're remodeling or redoing houses or something like that. That's what you really want to do. So when you're adding and doing an addition, make sure that you always keep the architect, the original architect, in thought, and make it moving. So when you do that, there's definitely ways to adding on houses, and we do it all the time. It's just that you might have to change and maneuver the layout of the house. So always keep that in mind, okay? That was number 2. Number 3, let's go there. This is a big one, ladies. I know this is gonna make some people mad. Maybe not. It just kind of hits a nerve. Not to be too trendy. Now, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what your neighbor thinks. It doesn't matter what your mom thinks. When we leave, it's still going to be your home. You have to live in it. You pay for it. You do all the things. So make sure that when you're done, you really love your home. However, it's kind of my job as an interior designer to come in there and say, hey, that's kind of trendy. I know you get excited and you're like, oh, we're going to put a new kitchen in and this is going to be so much fun. And I've always wanted this big black thing here, you know, and I really wanted this and I wanted that and I've always wanted gold. Okay. I always say, oh, yeah. We always get y'all excited. And then I kind of tone it down. It's my job to kind of tone it down. It's like, you know, we don't want it to look like Elvis Presley lived here all 50 years ago. We really want to keep the integrity of that. And why I say that is and kind of keep that traditional look going, because traditional looks 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it was in. And if it's still in today, you're probably pretty safe, okay? So what we try to do is the main things, keep the main things inexpensive, then they're going to last you a lot longer. You're going to be able to keep that longevity for a lot longer, if this makes any sense. So when you're working with someone like me, it's super important to be able to be up front about what you're really wanting to achieve, okay? What's really super important to you. And then second off, don't get too trendy, okay? You can put some trendiness in it, but don't put it in the most expensive things. So working with a designer, that's super important to not, when she says, okay, maybe not quite that, I wouldn't go with that, but you know, you could go with this. That's really important to keep her opinion to your to each other, kind of bounce things off. Okay, with that saying, if something is really something that you want, it's your home. You go with it. If it's some backsplash that you've been loving forever and ever and ever, it's your home. Then you go with it. You be you. You know what I mean? This is your home when you were done. So I really always try to play that balance off of people. But really, try not to go too trendy, because the trends will go out faster than you'll like them and you'll stay in your house, okay? So with that being said, number 3, don't be too trendy. Always keep that in mind, okay? You always want to keep things that you're going to like for a long time, okay? Number 4. Are you guys ready for this? Hello, ladies. I can see you guys on here. And this one is really hard for women. When they get their husbands on board and they're like, ooh, yay, we're going to get to remodel. We're going to do the kitchen. We're going to do the whole house. We're going to do the bathroom. This is really super hard. But number 4, buying furniture and home decor too early. Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. When you're remodeling and you're redoing your house and you're doing the renovation, do not buy furniture and home decor too early, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Because what happens is when you start renovating and you start getting your things together, your whole world is going to wake up to all these new products and these new things. And then what happens is if you bought that $7,000 sofa, you're stuck with that $7,000 sofa. And I have walked into more homes, guys, more homes than not, where people say, "Oh goodness, I gotta live with that $7,000 sofa because my husband says it's yours. You can't take it back." And I ordered it or whatever. Okay, not that everybody's out buying $7,000 sofas. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. It's super important to just hold back, look at all your options, and then make your purchases. Okay, especially on your furniture, on your home decor, things like that. Once you get your first base things down, which when you're renovating, the very first things come first. Those are colors and things like that. And I would go through all of that with you. And then after you have all that, then the furniture comes. Then the accessory comes. Then the home decor comes. Does that make sense? You want to do it in the right order so then you're not overbuying and you're not having buyer's regret, which happens a lot. And then we have to really work around something you're not happy with. So that's why I say this is a big one. Number 4, do not buy furniture and home decor too early. Okay. So I hope these are helpful for somebody. So number 5, let's go to number 5. What's the next one? When you're renovating, some remodeling tips. Number 5. This is a big one, guys, because we're still there. And it doesn't matter if it's in this climate where we're in. It doesn't matter if it's just like 5 years ago. This is a big one. Not ordering enough flooring and tile is a big letdown. Not ordering extra is really, really bad. I don't know how many times we go on a job and we have the guys there and they're doing the job and we're at the end of the job. And as we know, women, we're like, okay, we're ready for this to wrap it up. You know, we've got our kitchen set, we've got our bathroom set, we've got everything ready. And guess what? We don't have enough flooring. Wah, wah, wah. You got to believe it. I got to call you up and say, hey, you know what? We don't have enough tile, or we don't have enough flooring, and it's going to be like 6 weeks to get that. And so now your project's not done. So you know your little party that you're ready to do, it's not going to happen. So that is terrible. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to, including me. I don't want to have to make that phone call. So it's super important with flooring and tile to buy extra, okay? And everybody always says, Tabitha, how much extra? They say, I mean, the people that I talk to, all the flooring people and the tile people, they say 20% extra. You can always return these. These are things that you can always take back if you have extra. They're always ready to take back extra, but you can't get it if it's not there, right? So if you're looking at tile and they say this is how much you need, then always put more on there. I always stress that, because there's so much you think, well, this is it, but you don't allow for cutting and things like that, because there's so much usage there. So always buy extra so that your project is done and on time when you're ready, okay? And especially since you have contractors there. As we know, it's harder once they're there and they're in the mode and they're working, and then you have to stop and then they go work on another job. It's hard for them to pull them back off to just do a small job, to finish it. So when you have them there, let's get it done. So that is my 5th tip there, is to always buy extra. I hope this is super helpful for somebody. Share this with friends and family, because I think that you guys really will keep this helpful. I get asked this all the time. Tabitha, is this a good time to remodel? When is a good time? Honestly, particularly for Jason and I, we don't live in your house. We think any time of the year. We have remodels all the time. We have them, spring, summer, fall, winter. We have them all the time. We remodel all the time. But a lot of people say the number one time is summer. And I think a lot of that is just because, you know, the planning stage, and it's nicer out. You can move furniture in and out easier. It's not snowing like in the Midwest here. But there really isn't a good question for that. You know, it's what they say. But one of the biggest things that I say is just plan. So, and some of these kind of fall into that, is planning extra and things like that for materials. So if you're planning a renovation, even if you're building a new build, these kind of these same things go hand in hand. The more you can plan, and the more you can, you know, just make sure that you have everything on hand and you can do those things, you're going to be better off. Trust me on that. I've done both. And this is some of the best tips that I can give you from the get-go. I could go on and on all day long about these, but I hope this was super helpful. Share this with your friends and family so that they have that if they're thinking about remodeling. This would be super helpful. If you need any more help, let me know. I'd be happy to help you with it. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys for coming on here and being on here with me. I can see some of you. So, I think I'm going to be showing you my garden next time. So would you guys like to see my garden? It's the back porch of my house, and we finally, last year, we added on to the pool area, and it's complete. And I thought the other day, I haven't showed you guys, I haven't given you a tour this year. The flowers are really blooming and they're absolutely gorgeous. So I will have to do that this week. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.